On this week's episode of the Summoning Circle, we preview GwentSlam number 2, go over the new revealed cards, and catch up from some news around the scene. Welcome back for another episode of the Summoning Circle. I'm your host, Vanitas Cabal. Before getting into the podcast, I just want to thank OtakuMZ, writer and infographic maker for the team Fade to Karma, for the new podcast art. It looks so good. Check him out on Twitter at OtakuMZ1978. Links to his Twitter and other content in the description. Our first topic of the day is GwentSlam. The week ended with a bit of controversy when Duha, who qualified via tournament but is unable to attend, was replaced by Metronos, currently the highest ranked ladder player able to make the tournament. So, why is this controversial? Well, the players looking to qualify through the Pro Ladder had a hard deadline of October 15th, so many stopped trying to climb the ranks after that day. Because the replacement was chosen from Pro Ladder results, I believe it makes more sense to choose the next player in line on the Pro Ladder from that day, rather than an arbitrary point after it was known Duha would be unable to go. Looking through the comments on the Reddit thread about this, most seem to agree that the replacement was decided in maybe the wrong way, and that it should have gone to whoever lost to Duha in the qualifier tournament, or to the player who was next in line in Pro Ladder at the time of the cutoff. Hopefully future tournaments will take this into account and have a system for deciding replacements determined ahead of time, so this kind of controversy will not happen in the future. Now onto the preview. The brackets for GwentSlam have been released, and the tournament will start streaming the first day at 1 p.m. CEST on the day this podcast is released, October 28th, on Life Coach's channel. Link will be in the description. The competitors are the previous GwentSlam winner, Freddy Babes, the top 3 of the ladder by the cutoff, Tailbot, Adzikov, and Game King, the qualifier winners, Randy of Sintra and Andy Wand, and invitees Super JJ and Metronos. My predictions are the following. Metronos versus Tailbot will end with Tailbot, king of the ladder, on top. Despite relatively little tournament experience, he has shown the ability to stay ahead of the meta with his decklist choices, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he approaches this tournament. Andy Wand versus Super JJ, I will give the edge to JJ. He is a fantastically strong player in all facets of the game, and it's not a slight to Andy Wand to expect JJ to move past him. Adzikov versus Freddy, I'm going to predict that Adzikov will take it. He didn't have a great showing last GwentSlam, but from what I've heard, Freddy hasn't had as much time to prepare for this tournament, so I'm predicting a pretty big upset here. And lastly, Game King versus Randy, I have to go with Game King. Game King is consistently near the top of the ladder, and has a lot of tournament experience in both Gwent and previously in Hearthstone. There's no sign of Game King slowing down, and Randy gets a really tough draw here to start the tournament. Despite their ladder success, I see Tailbot and Adzikov dropping off in the semis to JJ and Game King. The tournament format is enough different from ladder that I think tournament and conquest format experience give an edge to the tournament veterans. Then finally, I see JJ taking Game King in the final. This one was close to a toss-up, but in the end I think JJ will pull through. Here are my other predictions. First, Emir and Bran will be in all 8 players' lineups. Every player will ban Emir in every matchup, and if someone turns out not to, they won't win that matchup. I also think that there will be more Eredin decks than Dagon decks. And lastly, I think at least one player will try to target Bran with all of their decks by putting locking or graveyard hate cards in their deck. The tournament starts soon, and I'm very excited to see it. Once again, it starts at 1 p.m. CEST on Life Coach's channel. On to the revealed cards for the next patch. The name and art for 14 new cards have been revealed so far, and 6 of them we also know what their abilities are. The art for all the cards is amazing, but since this is an audio podcast, I'll just go over the 6 cards we know all the details of, and what I think of their potential. Mandrake is a neutral silver special card with the Organic and Doom tags. It's a buffed up Mardrome, a reset and strengthen, or reset and weaken for 6 power. I don't think this card will see much play, if any. It's only slightly better than Mardrome, and only much better in a very few cases, where a player can banish a card between 4 and 6 points that might otherwise come back from the graveyard. A slightly better Mardrome doesn't seem like enough to warrant a silver slot. The 3 points is enough to take out Iris and enough to take out Neckers, and I can't think of what kind of cards we would waste a silver slot on to expand that. Next up is Muzzle, a neutral gold special card with the spell tag. Its description reads, move a bronze or silver enemy unit with 8 or less power to the opposite row. This is a hard card to get a read on, and could potentially be very powerful, depending on the meta and what other new cards are revealed. In some matchups, it's just going to be a 10 or 12 point gold, which is pretty weak, but in others, it could be a way to steal carryover, prevent an enemy card from growing, or even steal a strong effect. This card will definitely see play in some meta conditions. Crow's Eye is a neutral bronze special card with the alchemy and organic tags. It reads, damage the highest enemy on each row by 4. Increase the damage dealt by 1 for each copy of this card in your graveyard to a maximum of 10. On first play, it's just a situational overdose, or a Mahakam pyrotechnician without a body. On subsequent plays, however, it becomes more and more powerful. Also, because it has the alchemy and organic tags, there are cards that can tutor it from your deck. So I could see this card being run in movement decks, with Marigold's Hailstorm, the way Mahakam Pyrotechnician is used now. A potentially very strong effect, I expect this to see quite a bit of use, or at least quite a bit of play early before the meta is figured out. Next up is Peasant Leader, an 8 strength neutral silver. It deploys 2 1-strength cows to both sides of the unit. A 12-point silver that gives an immediate target for Iris and Commander's Horn has a lot of potential. It can also be a way to match Swarm decks card for card. 12 points in silver isn't fantastic, but it has a number of secondary uses, especially if those cows have the beast tag. It could potentially see play. I definitely see people experimenting with it early on. Slizzard is a 3-point Monsters Bronze Draconid that reads, consume, but without boosting, a different unit from your graveyard that has a copy in your deck, and play that copy. This is kind of analogous to a Wild Hunt Navigator in many ways. I don't think we will see more than 1, maybe 2 copies in a deck, since it's useless in round 1 with no cards in the graveyard, and is only situationally strong. It is a tutor card, however, so there's a chance I'm underestimating it. Dol Blathana Swordmaster is the last of the previewed cards. It's a 4-strength bronze for Scoia'tael. It reads, deploy, damage an enemy by this unit's power. This is a slightly worse bronze version of Brayan. I expect we'll see Brayan reworked as she becomes kind of redundant. This card is a nice addition to the hand buff Scoia'tael decks, and I expect this card to be used in that archetype, although it remains to be seen if hand buff Scoia'tael will be strong enough to see much play at all. And that's it for the new cards. Now for some updates from around the scene. I was considering doing a little bit of a retrospective on this season's meta, but Gravekeeper wrote a great article about it. I'll put the link in the description. I just want to add that at the very top level of play, Nilfgaard is absolutely dominating due to its power and consistency, and Skellige is a close but distinct second. Our interview guest from last week, Andre Straka 3 Strosky, placed 8th in the Magic the Gathering Eternal Weekend Legacy Tournament. Congratulations to him on a great showing. I hope we see him in a major Gwent tournament soon. Recently I've been streaming a couple of times a week, usually at 4 AM UTC, on Twitch at twitch.tv/VanitasCaval. Thanks to everyone who has tuned in so far. We're starting to build a great community, and I'm enjoying every chance I get to stream. Leave a follow, and be sure to catch the next stream. I'd love to see you there. My YouTube channel has been a little light on content, since everything is about to change with a new patch. But as soon as it hits, I'll be brewing new decks and creating guides for them, so stay tuned. If you have a player or someone else from the scene that you want to see interviewed, or have other feedback on the podcast or any other of my content, send an email to vanitascabal@gmail.com, or leave a tweet or YouTube comment. Until next time, this has been Vanitas Cabal for the Summoning Circle podcast. Thank you.